Most people have this idea that calm is passive, but it's really not. Real calm is power because the moment somebody can control your emotional state, in a way, they actually kind of control you. Think about how many people lose themselves emotionally every single day. One single comment ruins their whole mood. One disagreement will change their whole behavior. One inconvenience will destroy their entire focus. That's not strength. That's what you call instability. Most people don't even realize how exposed they are when they get emotional. You can hear it when they talk. You can see how quick they react, how badly they be scratching for that validation. They become uncomfortable in a room full of pressure. They actually leak their emotional state constantly. And because of that, that's what makes them easy to be manipulated, easy to provoke, easy to control. That's why emotional discipline actually matters so much. Not because you become cold, because you become difficult to destabilize. It's a big difference between the two. Most people really don't understand emotional control. They think it means like you're suppressing emotion. It really doesn't. You actually still feel things. You just stop obeying your first reaction. That's when your power begins to start. Because the first reaction is usually emotional. Tell the truth. It's either impulsive, defensive, or reactive. And reactive people are actually predictable. Predictable people are controllable. That's the truth. Now let me help you understand something important. Silence is actual silence is actual psychological pressure. Most people actually talk too much. They talk too much because being quiet is uncomfortable. So they begin to explain themselves, to overshare, defend, or react emotionally. It's only because they really can't sit with themselves internally. Control people operate different. They pause, they observe. The response is actually deliberate. That right there changed the whole dynamic of the room. Calm actually creates an uncertainty, and uncertainty creates this psychological weight. People actually start watching you different when you stop reacting emotionally, especially during times of conflict, especially under pressure, especially when they expect you to react a certain way and they don't get it. That's where your control becomes visible. Now, I'm going to be honest about something. Most people are emotionally available to everybody they come across. Their mood's actually going to change depending on who texted them, who ignored them, who upset them, what went wrong today, what somebody said online. That's a dangerous state to be in because your emotional state becomes externally controlled. And if external things constantly dictate your internal condition, you don't have self command yet. That's why calm matters. I'm not talking about no fake calm, not performative calm. I'm talking about real internal stability, the ability to remain grounded while pressure actually increases. Most men don't really train for that. They're training for their image, their appearance, but emotionally, completely unstable. One challenge will destroy their entire momentum. One emotional situation ruins discipline. One stressful week at work breaks structure completely. That means the structure was actually weak to begin with because real control actually survives pressure. That's the test. Let me give you an uncomfortable truth. A lot of people don't actually want peace. They want emotional stimulation. I'm talking drama, attention, reaction, chaos. Because chaos actually distracts them from themselves. That's why some people constantly create emotional situations. They need the movement externally because internally they completely lack control. Control people really don't need that. They don't need to dominate every room. They don't need to explain themselves constantly. They don't need that emotional release every 5 minutes or so. They carry themselves a little bit differently. Well, a lot differently. It's calmer, sharper, more deliberate. And honestly, that kind of unsettles the hell out of people, right? Because emotional people don't understand emotional discipline. Stillness makes reactive people very uncomfortable. Silence makes insecure people nervous. That's what calm power has. It's because it's not loud, it's stable. And stability under pressure is rare. You're not going to find that. But understand this. I'm going to say it again. It's not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming less governable, less reactive, less predictable, less emotionally available to pressure. That's where self-command starts. And once you build that, it's golden. People will start to feel it immediately. Not like you going around announcing it, but because your reactions is actually changing. The presence of you changing. Your standards are actually changing. Pressure don't move you that easily. Now emotion don't control your direction. People can't pull you out of position so easily. That's a level that most people will never reach. Most people will stay controlled by impulse, controlled by their emotions or how they feeling, controlled by external validation, controlled by that constant pressure. But I promise you, the very moment you learn how to stand under that state of pressure, everything in your life's gonna change. That's what you call real power. Stay close.